Hello, lovely person. Thank you for being here. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus, and you're listening to the Feel Good Factor. If you enjoy the story in this particular episode or any of my other episodes, then you're going to love my free newsletter, The Feel Good Tribe. Go to my website veganosaurus.com/newsletter. I've put the link in the show notes and sign up. I'd love to see you on the Feel Good Tribe. Now, on to today's episode. It's my 9th birthday. My gift? A shiny brick red bicycle. It's a surprise! My dad looks so happy giving it to me. We live in the perfect residential layout for cycling. A U-shaped layout with houses on both sides of the road. Well, mostly houses. There's also one small apartment building and 2 empty plots overgrown with weeds. First, I practice with training wheels. Then the wheels come off. Since I got a cycle, my little sister got one too. A blue one, because she wants to be a boy. She rides too, but I ride a lot more. I love my red cycle. When I'm on it, I'm free. When I'm on it, I'm flying. I don't need any other kids to play with. They all come out only in the evenings, but I rush out in the late afternoon. The sun doesn't stop me from going out. Actually, it doesn't stop me now either. I love the quietness of the layout. I cycle up and down the U like a pendulum. One end, turn around, then to the other, then turn around. Oh, the turning was so much fun. I'd feel like I'm turning and then it's so low. The pedal is almost touching the ground. I feel like a superhero. Hours and hours of riding. I also hum a song as I ride. Take my breath away, do. I didn't know about Tom Cruise or anything back then, but I had heard that song on the radio and it seemed perfect while I was riding. The cycle really took my breath away, but I was never short of breath. Can you think of the last time you felt that way? I mean, I'm sure you can think of some moments from your childhood, stretches of days where you lost yourself in doing something and you didn't need anybody else and you felt so powerful and like that moment could last forever, those hours or minutes, whatever, while you're doing that activity, you just wanted it to go on and on and on. I'm sure you can think of something like that from your childhood. But when was the last time you felt that way in the recent years, in the recent months, the recent days? When we're kids, we aren't hesitant to just play, to just lose ourselves in some kind of a joyful activity. I mean, my parents got me a cycle because, it's good exercise, it's going to help me get tall. Actually, it never did. I'm just a little shy of 5 feet tall, but that's a different story. They probably had all these other intentions apart from making me happy, of course, because, they remember being delighted when they were kids riding a cycle, so they got me a cycle. But yes, they had all these other motives too, for it to help me in some kind of a beneficial, productive kind of a way. But for me, that cycling was just play. It was just joy. It was bliss. It was flow state. I didn't know it was flow state, right? I wouldn't know that's what it was called back then, but that's exactly what it was. A feeling of flow, a feeling of things being so perfect in that moment. If you want to know more about flow state, listen to episode 95. I've spoken a lot about what flow state is exactly and, how you can tap into it consciously and all that. But in short, it's this feeling where time has slowed down and sped up at the same time. While you're involved in the activity, time has just slowed down. It's just you and what you're doing, and there's nothing else. The moment just stretches and stretches and stretches. But then, once you're done with it and you're out of the activity, you see that it's hours later and it didn't feel that way. So that's basically how you feel during flow state. And the more often we tap into flow state, we allow ourselves to be in one thing completely, mindfully, just enjoy it, feel it, allow ourselves to just be in it completely, focused on it, without even making an effort to focus. The focus just happens. The more we allow ourselves to be in that flow state, the better the quality of our lives, and more well being we feel, more creative we are. And it reduces anxiety and stress and things like that from our life. Now, most often people feel flow state when they are involved in something creative, maybe drawing or sculpting, even cooking, something where they are in creative mode. That's the easiest way to get into flow state. Of course, you shouldn't have any other distraction. You should be involved in doing only whatever you're doing. But we can tap into flow state often without any other tools, nothing fancy. We can get into flow state simply during walking or doing some vacuuming around the house, washing dishes, chanting, singing. Flow state is easy to achieve. All we need to do is ensure that there are no other distractions. Absolutely none. No multitasking. All we are doing is being involved in that one particular activity. It could be done for hours, but it could also be in pockets of just some minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. So ask yourself how you can tap into flow state. It could be, as I said, with some fun, hobby type or creative, artistic activity. But also look around your house, look around your workspace, wherever you are, your art studio. And yes, what one activity can you involve yourself in right now to tap into flow state? And you just have to remember to forget everything else. And our minds, because we live in such a fast-paced world with very, very full schedules and to-do lists and there's so much to be done, a lot of us don't even allow ourselves to lose ourselves in single things, in just one thing. I was chatting with a good friend of mine who tends to be very busy. There's always something to do. He's always up to something, and he's always occupying himself. So he's in this constant state of, rushing and struggle and not really taking much care of himself. And he said, I walk every day for 30 minutes, but it feels so wasteful to just walk and not do anything else. And that made me so sad. A life of abundance, is about having an abundance of time, a sense of well-being. It's not only about being productive, making money, or even struggling for money or whatever, right? Always working in the rat race. That is not an abundant life. If you aren't even able to allow yourself time to enjoy something, lose yourself in it, be in a state of mindfulness and flow without being distracted, then that's a very poor life you're leading, right? So it broke my heart to hear that. But yeah, I didn't give give a lecture on mindfulness, though I have attended. I wanted to, but I didn't. I, kind of said that I only spoke about how, yeah, it's good to be mindful, and, it's not a waste, and, you deserve to treat yourself to that walk. And I left it at that. But yeah, that this is a mindset that we need to overcome. This thing of, if we are doing only one thing, we're wasting time. Time is a human construct. That's, we've just made it up like this. We've just said, okay, every minute of every second of every day, it needs to be, filled, and we need to be occupied. Otherwise, we are wasting our life, wasting our time. And that is being very, very cruel to your own self. And to the rest of the world, because you're adding to those expectations, you're adding to this culture of hustling all the time. When was the last time you sat and felt bored? Like what's wrong with feeling bored? You can allow yourself that too. Boredom comes because we're so used to our minds being stimulated all the time that we aren't able to sit still. And sit still as in just being. I'm not even saying meditate or do anything. Just allow yourself to just be and see what comes up. There is something amazing, something beautiful. There is this powerful stillness that comes after the boredom, but we need to get past that boredom. So we need to allow ourselves to feel that boredom. I felt bored quite often when I was a kid, even in my teens. Pre-screen days, all the pre-screen days had plenty of days of flow, days of joy, days of work, days of boredom. All of that was existent in our lives. But things have changed, and we need to allow ourselves to just be, and once we embrace that, okay, it's okay, I have all the time in the world. It's okay to spend some time doing nothing at all, to just while away the time, daydream, lose ourselves in just whatever thoughts that come and all of that. It's okay to allow myself to do that. Once you embrace that, then you will be able to embrace flow state even more, because if boredom itself is okay, then yeah, doing one activity, any one thing, of course it's all right, of course it's beautiful. So pick something today. Pick something today to allow yourself to lose yourself in it. To allow yourself to just be only in that mindfully, fully. It can be, like I said, something simple, like say if you're washing dishes, don't play a podcast, don't play music. Just let the water flow, and as you're scrubbing those dishes, the water flowing over your hands, experience all of that and be fully in that, and see what that does to your mind, the kind of relaxation it brings. It just regulates you and resets you. And don't do any, whatever you choose to do, that particular activity for flow state, don't do it with pressure. Do it like, okay, don't even set a goal like I have to finish all these dishes today, I have to vacuum the whole house today, or do 3 pages of doodling, whatever. Don't put any goals or pressures on yourself. You're doing it for the sake of doing it, for the sake of feeling it, mindfully enjoying it, and tapping into flow. That's the only intention with which you're going to do that activity today. So yeah, here's to you finding your, cycling equivalent. Let it take your breath away. All right, I'll talk to you again next week. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again very soon. Bye.